Okay, so today we're going to talk about Ultimate Custom Order Status. Basically, just a quick one run through of how everything works. So, Ultimate Custom Order Status is an app on Shopify that lets you add additional statuses, more steps to your order once you receive it before we actually reach the fulfillment step or before we complete the order. A lot of times like figurines or uniform shops and other kinds of merchants also need these extra steps and communicate them to the customer as well as they go through. Okay, so just a little bit of how the flow works on how these statuses are made. So once you get the app, so basically you have your orders right here. So this is our custom order dashboard that has relevant information for each of your orders in a specific way to help you move across your production chain. Okay, it's very neatly made. You have a timeline here that basically shows you exactly what happened and when. And here we also have a staff control, staff management feature that you can turn on. So even like you can even track like which staff member, if you do have multiple staff member, you can also track which staff actually made which change right here. And so the timeline has like it's a comprehensive view of everything chronologically what happened. And also here we also have the notifications log. This is specifically for notifications, so emails, SMS, WhatsApp. It's a detailed look at when it was sent, who it was sent to, at what time, and how much it costs, basically. So let's go for a deep dive on that if there's something you want to look into. And here we have a few filters that you can use. Okay, so you can search for some specific information for an order, like let's say like a company name or someone's name. Use this to search for that. Here you can look through your orders by date, like the last 30 days or last 90 days. And this lets you decide how many orders you want to include per page. Okay, we can go all the way up to 150 per page. Yeah, and this right here is for so basically, like let's say you have like a bunch of these already pre-configured. This lets you save them here so that you can just come back and just click this, like click a new save search, so that you don't have to keep messing with these all the time. It's already pre-made, and all your team members also have access to this. Okay, so next thing is we're gonna go into the statuses themselves. So each status, as you can see, it's each on their own. We have received, in production, and completed. And you manage them here in custom statuses. And then so basically like they kind of go from beginning to end, right? So you can go like it starts from 1 and then goes all the way to like 10, 11, or however many steps you have, and you can order them like from beginning to end using these arrows right here. You add new status right here. You make changes to your existing statuses or delete them right here. Okay, and you have your notification options that tell you like what happens, like once you set it to the status. Will an email go out? Will an SMS go out? Will a WhatsApp go out? Okay, and you configure them all inside right here in the status themselves, because basically each step can have different notifications that you want to set up. Okay, so let's say for in production, let's have a look at this. In production right here, so what this is basically the name that everyone on your team will see, and your customers will see as well. And yeah, so you can make this pretty informative as well. This is the color, okay, that we're gonna put. This is mostly used internally, so only for you and your team. is for you to like, it's like a you know, like a label in real life, you know, like those post-its as well. It's easy for you to categorize them, okay, with the badge color, so you can like you very easily see which step you're at. Okay, next thing here, this basically what this is like, it's really to save you time, really. It's to streamline your process. It's to make it so that, like, let's say, like usually this is used um, for let's say your receive, a status for receive and order receive. So instead of having to like update each order like manually, one by one once you receive it for the receive status, well, you could just use this, immediately update to the status when new order is received. So yeah, so this is pretty handy. So basically every new order comes in, well, it'll set to well, in this case it's in production, so it would set to in production as soon as it's received. So in this case maybe you don't want that, but like let's say for status for receive, you might want something like that. Yeah. And the last one, this one is for mark the order as fulfilled on Shopify when this status is selected. Okay, so this is usually at the end of your production chain. So what happens is that as soon as you set to the status right here, well, on Shopify itself, it'll say fulfilled. So it's a neat little. So it's really just to save you time. That's it. But you don't have to use it. You can use it if you want. The next thing here, this status is standalone from the production chain. So as you can see, like, so basically, you remember when we saw all the statuses go from 1, 2, 3, one by one sequentially. This is for special cases like refunded, cancel. Like they don't refit inside the chain. So this lets you, once you take this and save, it'll let you put this apart, like as a separate independent status that they can set to, and yeah, so it's for your organization. So next thing here is I wish to show a different status name to my customers. So this is usually like let's say your status, like sometimes it could be very technical, something that only your internal team refers to. So this is pretty useful for like if it's something very complicated like that. Then your customer, like you don't want your customers to see that, right? So what you do is that internally you're gonna refer to something like that. That's for your team, and for publicly, well, in public the person is just gonna see in production. Okay, so this is very useful for that. Next thing here is an overdue timer. So this is for you to keep track of if like if something is overdue or not. So let's say your status is in production. Well, after 5 days, if it's still in production, then like we need to let you know, right? So in the dashboard, you're gonna see it. It's gonna be in red. You're gonna see it's overdue, stuff like that. So it's useful for that. And this is like if you don't want to add weekends to the calculation. If you okay, so you only work during business days or something like that. So you can use this. Next thing, this like if you want your customers to know that like how long this task will stay, how long they should expect it to. So you can display it to your customers too. But by default, it's not shown to your customers. Okay. Next thing we have substatus options right here. So substatus options, it's really just for in case you have a status like let's say ready for pickup. That's really something like that. And like ready for pickup, like if you have like let's say multiple shops that you want people to pick up from, this is what it's for basically. So you just have one main status which is ready for pickup. That's the status of the order. And yeah, and then you could have like a pickup location. So it's a list of sub options for your status. Yeah, so you could have one for London, I don't know, Dubai. So this is basically once you set the status to ready for pickup, you're gonna have another option that you can select under that. So So it'll show up in the end. It'll show up ready for pickup, London. Okay, so that's what this is used for. Okay, so that covers around all the options for the statuses themselves. Okay, so after that, you can keep going down. You're gonna see the options for notifications. Okay, so for the notifications, you have three types of notifications you can set out when you set the status to, like let's say in production. You have emails, you have SMS, text messages, or WhatsApp. Okay, so emails are free, it's included with the plan. You can send as many as you like. SMS and WhatsApp cost money to send out for each one. You can see more details of the pricing. So the pricing like depends on which country you're sending it to. And yeah, we're like these are basically like it's a real cost, and we bill you back for the costs that we receive for these. Okay. And yeah, so how this works is that each status themselves, like in production, they have their own template. They have their own pre-made template, so that like basically this allows you to, like let's say for emails, you'll send a custom email for in production that'll only made for in production. Okay, so this helps for that. And yeah, you just customize, go in here and customize them. Okay, so we have this little handy editor for you, and you can preview after you're done with it. Okay. So one thing to note is that the link here, okay, view order, or in this case, like let's say in the SMS, you have details at this right here. Okay. View order once again, and same thing with the view order details here. So what this is, this sends your customers to a live order tracking page. Okay, we send this out every time you send out a notification. So this is very handy. Okay, and you can preview where it is right here in the settings right here. Okay, go into settings. In the settings, you can see order status page right here. So this is the live status page that when someone clicks on track your order, or clicks or opens this link, or clicks view order details, this is where we send them to. It's your custom status page. You can open the preview here. So this is a preview of what it looks like when the customer sees it. So we have like a little summary here of their order and all your statuses going from 1 to 3, and if they're completed, if they're like once it's completed, there's a tick there. There's gonna be a tick there. Okay, so you can customize it using like a little bit with the color, how rounded the corners are, shop name, and the logo. Okay, customize all this using that. Okay. And yeah, so like this is where the settings are as well for everything, for other stuff. So the two main things that you might want to configure later on, that's the team access control. Okay, so this is, like we mentioned earlier, lets you keep track of all the staff that you might have that'll be accessing it, and we also have like a permissions thing going on. So you can choose like each staff. They're an owner, a manager, order handler, customer support, and each one has less access, right? So like let's say customer support can only come in and send notifications and see order details, but they can't actually make changes to the status themselves. They can set the status to the next level. Order handler, well, they can see all the information and they can change the status because they're part of your logistics, but they can't, like let's say, change another team member's permission. Okay, so that's what this is. And after that, you have level higher for manager. So usually like they can pretty much almost do everything except like more like configuration, and they can't override the owner, right? The owner owns everything. So in the end, and the last one, you have owner, that can pretty much just do everything you want. All right, so you be sure to have at least one owner. The app won't let you save if you don't have at least one owner, because or else you're gonna lock yourself out. Okay. So we have two ways to make this management happen. It's either we use your existing Shopify accounts. Okay, so like this makes it very straightforward, right? So you already have one Shopify account for each staff member. So they just come in the app and they'll pop up right here. Okay, they need to come into the app at least once for them to pop up right here, and then you just assign them roles. Okay, so it's very easy. The other one is like if you're sharing multiple like one account with multiple staff members. Like usually this happens when you're starting out, you're growing. Okay, so this is very handy. So in this case, this kind of works like a POS, like POS style pin codes, right? Like everyone uses the same base station, but everyone has a different pin code, like so they know. So that's basically it here. So you add your team members, put them in, and you give them a pin code that they have to enter. Okay, so after that, like if they don't use it, they log out, and then we lock like the app is locked basically, and they have to unlock it with their pin code. And that's how we keep track of everyone with the permissions and stuff. Okay, so the other thing you might want to configure here is the sender address. So by default sender right here, we send it from this domain. Okay, we send it from no reply at ultimate custom order status apps.msmtech.ca. That's the thing we assign for you. No setup required. Sends right away. Um, but you might want to use your own if you already have a business domain. This is not the My Shopify domain, okay? So this because that's Shopify's domain. You cannot set this up. Okay, it has to be your own. You own it. Okay, right here we have an example. Okay, um, once you have everything set up, it'll send it from here. Okay, so you just go through the steps. You have to have at least some kind of technical knowledge on how to set this up. Okay, if you don't, you can contact us and we can help you set this up. But just know that like we need your like domain name, registrar information, and all that stuff. So if you're not comfortable giving it to us, then we recommend you find someone you trust to do it for you. If you don't know how to do this is basically we need to do this configuration because that's how emails and domain DNS stuff, that's how it's up technically. So yeah, this is almost the same flow that like when you set up with Shopify as well, like it's around the same thing. And yeah, so once you have it set up, it'll send from that email. And yeah, and the last thing we have here is support. That's where you can get support or send feedback. That's very appreciated if you do, because that's how a lot of these features in the app itself gets made even better for you. And yeah, so that concludes it. We also have a few things you can explore here. This will be talked in another video if you want to learn more about this too. And yeah, so thank you for your time, and hope this app will be useful to you.